In a stunning move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL world, the Chicago Bears have reportedly agreed to trade their coveted first-round draft pick, along with 3 additional first-round selections, in exchange for star quarterback Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens. The deal, which is sure to reshape the landscape of both teams, represents a bold and unexpected shift for both organizations. Lamar Jackson, known for his electrifying playmaking ability and dynamic dual threat style, has long been one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the NFL. His combination of speed, arm strength, and football IQ has earned him an MVP award and propelled the Ravens to numerous playoff appearances. However, despite his individual success, Jackson's future with the Ravens has been the subject of intense speculation in recent seasons, with contract negotiations and concerns about his long-term fit in Baltimore dominating headlines. On the other side, the Bears have been in the market for a franchise quarterback for years. After a series of unfulfilled seasons and uncertainty at the quarterback position, Chicago has placed its faith in Jackson to lead the team into a new era. By acquiring Jackson, the Bears not only secure one of the NFL's most talented and dynamic quarterbacks, but they also gain the flexibility to build a stronger offensive unit around him. The presence of Jackson in Chicago will undoubtedly change the trajectory of the team, which has struggled to find consistency under center in recent seasons. In exchange for Jackson, the Bears have handed over a massive haul of draft capital, including 3 future first-round picks. This move demonstrates the Ravens' commitment to rebuilding their roster and preparing for the future. With these additional first-round picks, Baltimore has the opportunity to reshape their roster, adding young talent and potentially finding their next quarterback of the future. The trade also raises significant questions about the direction of both teams. For Chicago, the move signifies a win-now mentality as they look to make a deep playoff push with Jackson at the helm. The Bears now have the chance to build a team around a proven quarterback who can take them to the next level. For the Ravens, this deal signifies a commitment to a longer-term rebuild, with the addition of several first-round picks potentially giving them the ammunition to build a championship contending team in the years to come. As the dust settles on this monumental trade, all eyes will be on how both teams use this newfound power. The Bears, with Lamar Jackson leading the charge, are now among the most intriguing teams in the NFC. Meanwhile, the Ravens enter a period of transition, but their future remains bright with an influx of draft capital that could propel them back into contention in the near future. The football world will undoubtedly be watching to see how this trade reshapes the balance of power in the NFL. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. Jadeveon Clowney signed a 2-year, $20 million deal with Carolina last year, but was let go after just 1 season. This translates to $10 million a year. The logic is clear. Reports indicate that the Panthers tried to make a trade during draft week but couldn't find a viable opportunity. After this failed attempt, the team signed some players for the edge rusher position and decided to release Clowney. What does this reveal? The team couldn't finalize a trade, not even for a low-round pick. It's common for teams to mention proposals involving 7th or even 6th round picks along with Clowney in a trade, but no offers came through. Now he becomes a free agent. Earning $10 million per year, it's unlikely he'll get that amount again and will likely have to accept a short-term deal. At worst, he'll be in the $4 to $8 million range for a season. It's possible there will be bonuses to reach 10. Additionally, the Panthers still owe him $2 million in guaranteed money, so a new team could come in and say, "We'll offer you $6 million. You already have 2, totaling $8 million. This would only be a $2 million decrease from what he would have received if he hadn't been released. That way, he's ensuring he's not at a disadvantage. If he gets around $6 million, that would be a good deal. He might even go up to 8. I don't know if I'd pay more than that, but I do believe he can make a difference. I'm convinced. He still has a lot to offer. He's not a star player and probably won't be the deciding factor for a team to reach the Super Bowl, but he can influence the opposing quarterback's performance. Would you feel safe if he had to take over as a starter for a while due to injury? Yes, I believe he can fill that role and fits the profile of an edge rusher in the Dennis Allen style. Regarding the possibility of an extension before training camps begin, I think it's quite realistic. I believe a renewal could be done before the start of training activities, which take place at the end of July or early August. A radio reporter has been investigating this situation, mentioning that both parties would feel more comfortable if the negotiation is concluded before training begins. Although there's no strict deadline for this, the team's management has used similar language regarding another situation, treating it as a priority. During owner meetings, this player's extension was highlighted as a priority, and he got the renewal before the draft. After the draft, in an interview, the relevance of this extension was once again emphasized. It's clear there are patterns in communication between coaches and executives, showing a strong commitment to finalizing this deal. Now, this doesn't mean they're rushing. They might prefer to wait until after training activities. But in my opinion, selecting a player who could play guard if needed, but is more likely to become a tackle long-term, makes this contract extension an obvious decision. The main question is what the value of this proposal will be. The numbers from another player based on the franchise tag could serve as a reference. We need to look at other contract data. The goal is to present a number that exceeds the highest amount ever given to a guard, considering another player's situation under the franchise tag. I believe this is reasonable. About 1 or 2 months ago, I projected a 2-year contract for $42 million with a value of $21 million per year and $30 million guaranteed. If you prefer to adjust to 2 years for $43 million with $21.5 million, that's fine. He's 32 years old. I don't see the need to offer exorbitant amounts, but a 1 to 3 year contract is expected. I presented this estimate around 2 months ago, predicting an annual salary of $42 million and $21,000 with $30 million guaranteed. If there's interest in a 2-year deal for $43 million and $21.5 million to keep him among the best, that's a valid option. He's 32. I don't see the need to offer $24 to $25 million per year, but a 2 or 3 year total contract can be a good strategy. If there's a desire to restructure this year and sign a new 3-year deal, that can be a viable possibility. This approach would align him with other players who have contracts through 2027, which makes sense. As for the Bears under rookie minicamp, we're still awaiting news. 4J's in the spotlight. We'll keep everyone informed starting tomorrow. Actually, some updates have already come through today. Kyle Manungai will wear number 25. I'm curious to see what number Luther Burton will take. Following this, we may already have the answer. The rookie minicamp will take place from the 9th to the 12th. I'll be in the office tomorrow, so any information that comes from the camp will be shared. For important updates over the weekend, I'll bring home videos. After the rookie minicamp, we'll analyze the standouts and those who didn't perform well, and I'm excited to see the draft class in action. Colson Loveland won't participate in drills as he's still recovering from a shoulder injury, so we won't see him on the field, but he will attend the theoretical activities. On the other hand, we'll get to see Luther Burton. How will Ozzy Trapillo perform out there? He's a big athlete, standing at 6'4" and weighing 320 pounds. Shamar Turner and Ruben Hippley are players I find intriguing for the coming months. Will Zay Frazier show his potential from the start? And what about Luke Newman and Kyle Manungai? Can he establish himself as a second running back? That's something we're evaluating. It's exciting because this is when things start to come together. We have this rookie minicamp, and about a week later, the team's organized activities will begin. From the 20th to the 22nd, there will be another session that will extend until the 30th. Then there will be a mandatory minicamp and another period of organized activities before the Bears take a 6-week break from June 12th to the last week of July. During this phase, players will be off, focusing on their own training until training camp starts, when everything will truly ramp up and Bears football will be back in full force. However, it seems to be returning in some way already. The league has managed to keep activities going with just a 5 to 6 week break from mid-June to the end of July, which is relatively quiet. There's always something happening. It's almost 11 months of activities. What the league has achieved is impressive, and it creates a lot of excitement. We're only 4 months away from the return of the team's football players. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Speculation about Smoking Jay is resurfacing. It's time to talk about the Chicago Bears. It's been a while since we've used the Smoking Jay rumor meter. For those who aren't familiar or need a quick summary, let me explain how this meter works. If it's a 0 Smoking Jays, it indicates false information. It won't happen and isn't worth discussing. 1 smoking, Jay suggests that the situation is minimally true. It's a possibility, but highly unlikely. With 2 Smoking Jays, it indicates that discussions are ongoing. 3 Smoking Jays mean a considerable probability. 4 Smoking Jays, bear down. It's a certainty. At this moment, the Bears should sign Jadeveon Clowney. I'm assigning 3 Smoking Jays to this situation. As for the real chance of it happening, it could be 1 or 2. However, if I were in charge, I'd lean toward believing this will actually happen, so I'm giving it 3 Smoking Jays. This information comes from the announcement that the Panthers are releasing veteran edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney. I've always admired the player. I've mentioned this in other off-season discussions about him, and I reiterate, he's never fully reached his potential as a first overall pick. That's understandable, but still he's had a very respectable NFL career. I believe the Bears should seize this opportunity, especially since they didn't land a quality edge rusher in the draft. For me, he fits many of the criteria of an edge rusher in the Dennis Allen style. And he still has game. Over the last 4 years, he's reached 5.5 sacks in 3 of those 4 seasons, with more than 9 sacks in 2 of them. Overall, he had an atypical season in Cleveland in 2022, but stood out in Baltimore and performed well in Carolina. If we look at how he was graded last year, he's still receiving good marks. Being in the 70s means you're well above an acceptable level. In general, he had an atypical year in Cleveland in 2022, but moved to Baltimore and had a really good year. Last year, his performance in Carolina was also solid. You can see how he was graded last year. He still ranks well. If you're in the 70s, that's above average. 60 represents average. Historically, he stands out as an excellent run defender, so I still believe he can continue to play that role. 44 pressures with a quarterback pressure. Success rate of almost 12%, that's above average. We're not talking about an elite player. It's May, and you won't find a player of that caliber unless you make a trade this time of year. However, Jadeveon Clowney is a reliable player who understands his role and can elevate the edge position. Dennis Allen, over time, values characteristics like size, wingspan, and physicality in his edge rushers, along with the ability to defend against the run. That's exactly what Jadeveon Clowney brings to the team. At 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighing 266 pounds, and with 34.5-inch arms, he really can pressure opposing tackles with that wingspan. He plays as a run defender and can also pressure the quarterback. While he's not an elite pass rusher, he's solid in that aspect. He doesn't always have seasons with standout sack numbers, but he impacts the quarterback almost every year of his NFL career. What stands out about this defensive line group? We have about 8 defensive tackles and 3 or 4 edge rushers, which really catches the eye. Montez is clearly present. Dio Dingbo should play inside at times. Is Austin Booker ready to be the third guy and be on the field in some passing situations? We'll see. We hope Daniel Hardy, although I think he's more of a special teams player. Looking at the edge rusher group as a whole, there are only 8 of them. 3 are undrafted players from the last 2 years. Dominique Robinson is entering his 4th year, and most people think his time is running out. Hardy seems more of a special teams player. So we have Sweat, Dingbo, and Booker, with Booker still being a projection. Dingbo can be considered a solid starter. Montez Sweat at least is a reliable starter, but ideally he should recover and become a really good player. Most people think his career is over. Hardy is more of a special teams athlete. We count on Sweat, Dingbo, and Booker, with the latter still representing a promise. Dingbo can be seen as a consistent starter, while Montez Sweat is, at a minimum, a reliable player in this position. Ideally, he would recover and become a truly standout athlete. If we had someone like Jadeveon Clowney, he would be in unfavorable situations, your third guy, unless Booker really develops and in some circumstances could prove more effective. than Dingbo, at least this season. Right now, Booker's trajectory is negative, while Dingbo's is positive, considering the age and expectations. It's important to highlight that the edge position is one of the biggest weaknesses in the roster right now. And if Montez Sweat gets hurt, the depth at this position would be seriously compromised. It's true that Javon Dexter or Turner can play edge in some plays, but not all of them. Dingbo will start as an edge but could be moved inside in certain situations, and that's desirable since he can create advantages there. Right now, the lack of depth at the edge position limits those options. If someone like Clowney were brought in, he could play as the third starter at the edge position and the fifth player on the defensive line, providing more stability to the defense. The question is why he has changed teams since leaving Houston. It's unclear if he's exhausted his opportunities. The front office values character and other aspects, but as a player, he still meets many requirements, and I haven't heard any negative reports lately. While his departure from Cleveland was a bit tumultuous, that happened in 2022. Reports say his stint in Carolina last year was smooth, and his performance in Baltimore 2 years ago was excellent. What do you think? Should the Bears sign Jadeveon Clowney? Let's explore this idea a bit more. Now, how much will Clowney cost? We'll talk about that soon, as he was released. The question is whether we should base it on his previous contract or if the new deal will be lower. I'll investigate that and share my thoughts. On the financial management front, there's an app that can help manage your subscriptions, track expenses, and help save in various ways. This app can also help reduce expenses. Often the spending goes unnoticed, like the daily coffee habit. And what about streaming services? They pile up quickly, often without you realizing. This app can spot your spending patterns, allowing you to take action to save more money. It gives you a full picture of your spending across all accounts, which is extremely helpful. Additionally, there's a new feature that allows you to set savings goals automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. The app can help with bill payments, saving for a house, or increasing your financial resources. With millions of users, many have already saved significant amounts by canceling subscriptions, with some getting even more using premium features. Imagine what you could accomplish with some extra money. You could travel, enjoy various outings, or even start a fund for education. By canceling unnecessary subscriptions, you can speed up your financial goals. It's simple. Just visit the website, sign up, and link your bank account securely, and you'll start saving with one of the best personal finance apps available. Jadeveon Clowney signed a 2-year, $20 million contract with Carolina last year, but was released after just one season. That amounts to $10 million per year, which is easy to understand. It was reported that the Panthers considered a trade during draft week, but couldn't find a viable option.